All right, how we doing today? So today is 28 June. I got about 11:45 here. I'm over here getting this bread or whatever, or so-called doing that. I hope everybody had a good weekend, safe, and I wish y'all safe travels for this up and coming wicked July 4th weekend. All right. So, yeah, you see the title. So yeah, we're going to talk about this hot mess called the BET Awards of 2021. I think I've seen enough. And the main headlines, well, preliminary that is City Girls, that rap group, and then the rapper Meaghan the Stallion. But the crescendo of the events is Lil Nas X. All right. Now I made about 2-3 videos about that man before, about that young man. All right. And how that, I guess this skit he did, I took a look at it. It was pretty much a hot mess. Now I'm going to tell you, all right. I've seen videos like that before. My mom used to have like Earth, Wind, and Fire. And I'm not saying that there are like homos or whatever, or let's say George Clinton. My dad used to like the Parliament, okay, where they used to have the colorful costumes, and George Clinton had the colored dreads in his head and all that, okay. So but let's just say 40 years ago, the performances probably were more taboo, okay? And I'm pretty sure they had comedic messages in them, all right? And either I don't know, you really have to be in the craft to understand what they were talking about, but this is just brought to the forefront, all right? Where basically at the end of the video, Lil Nas X just tongue kisses a man, you know what I'm saying? It's like, when I saw it, it just made my stomach just fall to the bottom. You know what I'm saying? Ugh, man. And Meaghan the Stallion with that thot performance. You know, the thing, I've seen some of her older videos when she was doing YouTube, and I think that, yeah, she was starting it up a little bit, but she's more conservative back then than she is now. Sorry about the folks. Okay. And she looked like she's gaining weight too. All right. For some reason, I don't know if it's the ripping and running or what, but it seems like she's not as nice looking as she was like 3 years ago. Okay, that she was more fit, and looked healthier or whatever, traveling and going to all the restaurants, and that lifestyle, it'll take a toll on you, okay? Because inevitably, those women have to get a lot of plastic surgery and, implants and all that, all right? It's a high-profile industry to keep that up, and, the industry, especially women, have a shelf life. Now, men are more marketable, all right? But I digress. Okay, for her little thot performance. And then the same with that twerkulator, okay, with the City Girls. Again, well, it's not all their fault, because, and I said this before, that, let's say people in my generation, some of those ladies, they were kind of like on a central tip, like maybe like Little Kim and a couple of others back then. I'm trying to think who else, like in the 2000s. But they did have a certain amount of class or whatever, okay? Probably the nastiest or whatever, it's not really nasty, but it's more sensual, was Lil Kim, all right? And I'm not going to say those ladies were perfect, because they're not. But then again, all right, they were, wives. But I believe it was more like a underground thing. Let's say you take somebody like Jada Pinkett Smith or whatever, okay? Where she's throwing her little body around, but then again, all right, I think she does a fairly decent job, you know, keeping that stuff underground. Now it's being brought out, okay? It's being brought out more to the forefront, okay? It's been going on, but it's just, people are just becoming bolder and bolder. And these performers are being pushed, or they pretty much signed what they call a GOAT Lucy contract. You can look up the word GOAT Lucy yourself, do a basic search, okay, from the powers that be, to push this type of agenda, okay? And even, all right, this thot slash gay type agenda, all right, to complement the LGBT, all right? But then again, that the group is starting to see that the disingenuous factions that these entertainers are putting out, and I think that they're get to where they had enough, because I think the LGBT, the group that I knew, they like to be fairly conservative, okay? But then again, it's the powers that be that are pushing, you know, that want to bring out the LGBT communities to the forefront, okay? And I think that you have a conservative side of that don't want that. But we get to a point to where you're starting to see that false prophet, okay? That we're losing the moral compass to where good is evil and evil is good. And it's going to get a time here real soon that you're going to have to choose a side. All right? Through entertainment, through sports. Okay, you had a guy from, I made a video about him for the Las Vegas Raiders to come forward or whatever, and he's not the only one. There's a few that came forward like 10 years ago, and I just think that it's going to have some adverse effects. It will have some adversity because people are pushing against this, okay? And I hate to say it, but they're using the black community, okay? Black men and women, they're pretty much demonizing or demasculating our black men, okay, and thotting up our women rather than, you know, being hard-working girls or whatever and getting married and having babies or whatever, okay? Making our women have this out for the streets mentality, okay, to be somewhat conservative. And not saying that, you know, you guys, you know, can't have a good time, women and men and all that, okay? But, you know, there's a time to do everything, all right? A certain time and place. So, I think the part of leaving certain things to the imagination, where you do things at home, as opposed to doing things in public, you see those two realms coming together now, okay? To where it's getting to a point to where I even see people out here in Las Vegas walking around when I'm out in the strip, all right, half naked and all that, all right? They look like they got like negligee, they got it in a way that they got, these women got dresses on that look like negligee, okay? Transparent thongs underneath like some tights or something, all right? And just so you know, all those tights, clothes, especially those tights or whatever, are not good to wear in the summertime or whatever, because it does make your private parts or whatever smelly. Just so you'll know, ladies. Okay? But back to Lil Nas X. All right, that they're pushing that boy to demasculate our children. All right? To think that it's okay for our young boys to act like this. And why are some of the older ladies saying it was like, let me see here, Monty Love, the other, the Brat, or I forgot the other girl. All right, she was one of my favorite rappers or whatever in the commemoration of Queen Latifah. I haven't seen it, but she got the Lifetime Award. Why are some of these ladies are not vilifying some of this? Okay, to be like, ladies, okay, we could have a more conservative approach, or Okay, maybe to do something more explicit, you know, for BET to do performances like those. Okay? Why? My generation or the performer, they shouldn't have let this get this far. All right, it should have stopped with Little Kim, but it didn't work. It didn't work out that way. All right, and the times are only going to get darker and darker. How far do they plan on pushing this? Point taken. Okay, and this is no ploy to try to degrade women or like the LGBT community and all that. Okay, gay men or whatever. All right, but I said this incessantly concerning videos I've done about immoral behavior, that I believe that there got to be some limits. And if you remember, if you do something immoral and you're a so-called Bible toter or Christian, you're going to have to answer. You have to have things to answer to during the day of judgment. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Subscribe, leave your comments, shares, and likes. And check out some of my other videos, all right? I got to go on and move on to do other things or whatever, all right? I'm not going to try to get worked up by all this. Peace.